Hey everyone. This is a video I never imagined I'd make, not because I didn't have these thoughts, but because I wasn't sure if I should say them out loud. But here we are. If you followed me for a while, you probably know I've been a huge Blackpink fan since their debut in 2016. I've supported the girls through every comeback, every teaser, every world tour, every moment of silence between releases. I was fully in. But today, I'm going to be real with you, completely honest. Nowadays, I only follow Rosé. That's it. I'm no longer emotionally invested in the group as a whole or the other members' careers. In this video, I want to explain why. Not to hate, not to stir drama, but because I know some of you feel this too and haven't found the words. Maybe you'll relate, maybe you'll disagree, and that's okay. Let's start. Limited music releases and content fatigue. I'm not going to sugarcoat this, the release schedule has been beyond frustrating. We waited years for full albums, and even then, they were short. Debuting in 2016, Blackpink became a global force with very little actual content. Most of their discography could fit on a playlist shorter than my grocery list. And let's be honest, the formula? It barely changed. The few group comebacks we got felt like déjà vu. The same structure, EDM-heavy beats, fashion-forward music videos, and overproduced choruses. Where was the growth? Where was the experimentation? At some point, it felt like they were stuck in a loop. And I, like many others, started tuning out, not from hate but from fatigue. Loving a group shouldn't feel like you're constantly waiting and settling. Repetitive concepts and creative stagnation. Every comeback felt like a reskin. Visually stunning? Absolutely. But musically, it was déjà vu. The high-low energy shifts in their title tracks, the recycled themes of power, fashion, and fierceness, it got old. You can only shout Blackpink in your area so many times before it loses its magic. I know that's their brand, but a brand should evolve. Especially when each member clearly has so much individual artistry, and that disconnect is what pushed me to follow only one of them, someone whose music feels authentic to her, not manufactured for virality. The fandom divide and toxicity. Now let's talk fandom. This hurts to say because it's supposed to be a space of community, but honestly, the fandom is in pieces. Between solo stans, OT4 supporters, and the constant online wars, the atmosphere has gotten toxic. I've seen fans ridicule each other for not supporting every member equally. I've also seen solo stans dragged mercilessly for expressing opinions like the one I'm sharing now. Let's be real, this isn't healthy. Instead of celebrating individual paths, it became a battlefield. If you're not cheering for every move from every member, you're called a fake fan. And that pressure? It pushed me away. I chose peace, and that meant narrowing my support to where my heart truly is, Rosé. My thoughts on Jisoo. Let me make it clear, I like Jisoo. She seems sweet, grounded, and incredibly hardworking. Her visuals are stunning, her stage presence is elegant, but I'm not drawn to her acting projects. The stories she chooses, period dramas, slow romances, aren't my thing. I gave them a try, but they just didn't capture me. Her solo music was okay. Not bad, not life-changing. It just didn't stick with me the way Rosé did. And that's not shade, that's taste. We all connect with art differently, and Jisoo's work just didn't resonate with me deeply. Why I stopped following Jennie. Jennie was once my bias. She had that charisma, that it factor. But over time, I noticed a shift that I couldn't relate to anymore. Her fashion became more revealing, her public image leaned heavily into sensuality. That's her choice, and I respect her autonomy, but it's not for me. Then came The Idol. I watched a few clips and it made me uncomfortable. Not because she shouldn't take on bold roles, but because the content itself felt excessive and hollow. Again, personal taste, it left me with a bitter aftertaste, and I just couldn't align myself with it anymore. Lisa, talented, but not the Lisa I loved. I will always recognize Lisa as one of the most gifted dancers in the industry. Her charisma is undeniable. But the Lisa I admired, the one who brought fire to the Kill This Love stage, who radiated swagger without losing elegance, feels distant. After her performances at Crazy Horse and her shift to more Western media, I couldn't help but feel she went in a direction that just doesn't speak to me. It became more about shock than artistry. I still wish her success, I truly do. But as a fan, I just couldn't follow her path any longer. I longed for the Lisa who made me fall in love with dance again, not the version curated for international headlines. Rose, the heartbeat of my support. Rose is the reason I stayed. Her voice? Unmistakable. Her lyrics? Poetic. Every solo release from On the Ground to Gone felt like she opened a door to her soul and said, "Come in." Unlike others, Rose stayed consistent, not just musically but emotionally. She still has that sincerity, that softness that drew me to Blackpink in the first place. Her style blends vulnerability with elegance, and I admire her restraint. In an industry chasing extremes, she chose subtlety, and that speaks volumes to me. Following her solo career gave me a sense of renewal, like, this is why I fell for Blackpink. But it turns out, I really fell for Rose. So, what now? Will I keep up with group activities? Probably not. I'm happy Blackpink made it this far. But I'm also honest enough to say they don't inspire me the way they used to. I won't pretend to be excited for a comeback if it's just the same thing in a new outfit. Will I bash the other members? Absolutely not. They're all powerful women chasing their dreams. But my time, attention, and love as a fan? That now belongs to Rose. If you're feeling the same way, you're not alone. The fandom might try to make you feel guilty for not supporting all four equally, but your feelings are valid. Art is personal. Music is emotional. And where we choose to invest our energy says something about who we are, and what we need. For me, I need music that touches the soul, not just sells millions. I need visuals that uplift, not shock. I need authenticity over branding. And right now, Rose gives me all that. Thanks for listening. If you've made it this far, wow, you're a real one. Whether you agree with me or not, I appreciate the space to speak freely. That's what being a fan should be about: honesty, growth, and love for the art, not forced loyalty or blind defense. Let me know in the comments how you feel. Who are you still following? What made you stay, or walk away? Let's talk like grown fans. Because at the end of the day, we're all here because something moved us once. And maybe, with the right artist, it still can.